If you keep attracting emotionally unavailable people, this video is for you, but I want to start off by saying you are not broken, unloved, or impossible or incapable of love, or that you're too much. Is because something in this dynamic feels familiar, right? But that is not the same thing as safety, okay? And once you understand this, you're able to come to a better understanding and perspective instead of continuing this loop and cycle. Okay? Attraction is memory. What experiences you are having is creating and affecting your nervous system. And if you're operating on a dysfunctioned, dysregulated, emotional nervous system, you're going to continue repeating the same pattern, the loops and cycles that keep you thinking that you're unloved or unworthy when you're not unworthy of love. You are worthy. Now, we confuse the familiarity and think that is connection. It's not, though. If you ever grew up from a chaotic household feeling that you had to earn love, earn respect, earn a reward, and thinking that is love, that's where the trauma and childhood and why your childhood, the home that you come from, really does affect your adulting phases through life. Okay? And your nervous system is becoming so familiar and normalizing as this is normal. This is what I'm used to. This is what I'm always only capable of. When you have to pay more attention deeper than that. Be Sherlock's Holmes in this bitch. And pay attention to your subconscious, your conscious, your leaky subconscious. What patterns are rising up again? What wounds are coming to the surface? What things are the skeletons in your closet are starting to fall out that you have avoided, pushed under the rug, or haven't fully released them yet? Because this has a major effect into your life. And why am I talking about this? Well, because I did a video talking about anxious attachment styles, so make sure you go check that out if you do. And I mentioned some things about, dealing with avoidance and why we attract that. But this is like a deeper layer to that, but with a different idea that I think anyone could benefit from. But familiarity and safety are two different things, okay? And a lot of us can think that, oh, since I'm used to this is all I ever known. And in order to experience something outside of that, you have to truly take care of your nervous system and regulate your emotions, regulate your nervous system to a healthier approach. But it takes awareness that is the first step for you to truly break free from this cycle. However, self-abandonment without blaming, okay, because this is a lot of, people in today's culture and society, we kind of all have some sort of family chaotic or not, or some have it more extremes than others, and some don't. And there's no hate, there's no shade, but a lot of people don't want to hear this, right? But what's freeing is you're not attracting unavailable people because they're special. They're not. There's some sort of lesson there that you're not paying attention to, hence why you keep repeating. And you need to understand life works as your subconscious marches and follows that beat. Shout out to the show Dark Matter, because that is a very sci-fi show. It has season 1. I'm wanting to see season 2 already. But that helps and shows a lot about the world that we're stepping into and just how the world and energy and frequency works, right? But these people are not special, but even if they mean well or not, you need to understand the way and the reason why you're attracting them is because somewhere down along the lines of your life, where you are, where you were, you can see similar aspects in a lot of, oh man, I changed a lot, right? And that's a beautiful thing, okay? But you learned to abandon yourself. The most important person is yourself. Because obviously, yes, you should be of service and, do greater good for the world. But if you don't have self-love or self-respect, can you give love to someone else? No, not a healthy love, right? And I'm not saying that like you have to be 100% self-love and healed all the way in order to be in a healthy relationship. I'm not saying that at all. Okay, but you have learned to continuously abandon yourself and put every single person, every single other thing above you and be used as a doormat. And that is what you think connection is, but it's not. And when you're over explaining, constantly, repeatedly over explaining your feelings and concerns, and the person is not understanding or not showing up or doing better or choosing or reciprocating, they're just draining the life force out of you. You're constantly abandoning yourself even more. That's the pattern. That's the loop. Stop doing that. That's not love. That's survival mode to the fittest, completest. And you got to break free of that, because one thing about me is that no matter how many relationships I've been in, a lot of the times I feel like you can come to the point where you start saying, oh, I gave too much. And that can never be. You can only give too much when you know that that person is not deserving of it, because there's no return on investment here of equal reciprocation. And that is what's a lot of people say suck into the pain, betrayal, and bitterness of what they have created and abandon themselves even more, and that they try to put all of it onto another person. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to go into my next relationship and give it all I fucking got. And I know there's been times where I've had challenges with that, where either I didn't, or that I wished I did, or, this, that, and the third. But there's a live and learn and understanding and applying, okay? And I would never come to the point of like, oh, I'm going to change who I am completely because of X, Y, Z of that experience. Nah. There's certain things that you should, but I'm never going to be like, oh, I'm going to give a limited amount of love. Fuck no. Hell no, that's not even me anymore. Who am I at that point, right? But I want you to ask yourself this. When you're in these situations, ask yourself, am I recognizing something here? And that's the first step. That's the first step right there. But you start healing when that little weird thing happens, which is where emotional, unavailable people don't feel exciting. You see it. You see those signs on the wall. You see the pattern recognition to where you disengage, where you're dodging and weaving, and you're not falling for the bullshit because you prioritize yourself in healing. That has helped you see the patterns and understandings of what you do not want in your life, what you don't want to experience, what you don't want to go through again. And that's when you're breaking free. And that's not because they're boring. That's because your nervous system has decoded and understood the difference between survival and actual love or actual connection, connectivity, safety, right? So the question I want you to think about and ask yourself as I close this video out is, why do I keep attracting emotionally unavailable people? And where is it that I am in my own mental, emotional, spiritual level of existence that I keep attracting this into my life? Am I passing the test? Is there something that I'm not paying attention to? Ask these questions, and there's nothing wrong with asking questions, or nothing wrong with asking help either, okay? And yeah, if this hits, let me know in the comments. Comment down below your experiences, your understanding, your journey, whatever the fuck you want to comment about, or some videos that you want me to talk about as well. I know at least one person needed to hear this, and I know this video was kind of all over the place, and it is 8:50 in the morning, and I've been up since 4, so I apologize for the energy, but I wanted to show up, and this is my third video, so I'm wearing the same shirt, you feel me? I'm going to take a little break now, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay blessed as always. Have a beautiful one. Peace.